Good afternoon, students. Let us start with the chapter Transpiration of Food and Minerals in Plants. And today's topic is transpiration. So, transpiration, plants, they are absorbing water from the soil. That already you know. Previous classes it was explained. That water is absorbed by the roots, is not consumed by the plants. Means more than what is required, it is absorbed by the plants. And the extra water is given off in the air as water vapor through minute opening present on that plant surface, leaves and stem. And this process that is called transpiration. So transpiration means the loss of water in the form of water vapor through the stomata of leaves and other aerial part of a plant is called transpiration. So transpiration mainly taking place through stomata. Stomata are the minute opening present on the upper and lower surface of a leaf. They are microscopic. Last year you have studied the structure of stomata, opening and closing of stomata, labeled stomata already that you have studied and you know. Now, this transpiration process, here in this picture that you can see, the roots are absorbing water from the soil. And arrows that which shows that water is transported towards the surface of the leaf. And from the surface of the leaf, water is evaporating. That means transpiration is taking place from the surface of the leaf as in the form of water vapor. So this is the process that is called transpiration. Now, this transpiration beside stomata, the stomata, that is one way by which the plants that their transpiration is taking place. Then another method of transpiration, that is lenticular transpiration and cuticular transpiration. Lenticles are the minute opening present on the stem, and cuticle is the waxy coating present on the leaf. So there are three different ways of transpiration. They are stomatal transpiration, lenticular transpiration and cuticular transpiration. There is a direct relationship between absorption and transpiration, absorbing from the soil and evaporation of water from the surface of the leaf. Water is lost through transpiration from the surface of the leaves. That is why more and more water is absorbed. So due to this absorption of more and more water from the soil, that which create a suction pressure inside the stem of the plant, inside the xylem vessels. Then that suction force or pressure that which is created in the xylem, that which helps that transportation of water and minerals through the xylem vessels. So this pressure which is developed inside, the suction pressure which is developed inside the stem, that is called a transpiration pull. The amount of water in the roots get reduced at the time water from the surrounding soil pass into the root hair cells by the process of osmosis. Already this osmosis process, it was explained in the previous class with the help of potato osmoscope. That is why you know that it very well. So like this way, one side the plants, they are absorbing water from the soil and the other side water is evaporating. Then due to the transpiration pull. So this way, due to transpiration pull, more water from the soil absorbed by root hair. Now this is an experimental setup that through which we can study the process of transpiration. In which way? For this, we had to take a small potted plant and cover it with a polythene bag. And after that, keep this experimental setup in the sun for few hours. After that, observe this polythene bag. You can see that droplets of water appears on the inner walls of the jar. And this water droplets that it is formed due to transpiration. That means from the surface of the leaf, Water is evaporating as in the form of water vapor and get condensed and changed as in the form of water vapor. So this is the process of transpiration. Now, there are many factors affecting rate of transpiration. The factors affecting rate of transpiration are sunlight. The rate of transpiration is more during a sunny day. The reason is that during daytime stomata is opened and nighttime stomata is closed. When stomata is opened, that water vapor is coming out as in the form of water vapor is coming out through the stomata. So that is where rate of transpiration is more during daytime, and nighttime no transpiration. Reason is that stomata is get closed. Second factor is the temperature. If the temperature is high, rate of transpiration is also high. But on a cold day, rate of transpiration is low. Velocity of wind is another factor. The transpiration rate is more if the wind is blowing. So that is why velocity of wind another factor. Next factor, if the humidity is more in the atmosphere, humidity, amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere. If humidity is more, then rate of transpiration is less. So these are the factors affecting rate of transpiration: sunlight, temperature, wind, and humidity. Now, what is the importance of transpiration? Transpiration importance that it give cooling effect. Cooling effect means on a hot sunny day when we sit under the tree, we feel very cool. Reason is that water vapor is coming out through the stomata and which give cooling effect. And this way cooling effect that helps to reduce temperature in our atmosphere also. That is why plant more and more trees. If we plant more and more trees, that which helps to maintain that atmospheric temperature. Then second importance is that ascent of sap. Ascent of sap means water and minerals that which is transporting from the root towards the leaf, and that is called ascent of sap. In ascent of sap, not only water, along with that water, minerals are also transporting. So that is through the xylem vessels. Another important function of transpiration is that removal of excess of water. More than what is required absorbed by the plant roots. Excess of water is removed with the help of transpiration. So that is why one side water is escaping out, another side water is absorbing. So these are the importance of transpiration. Now, after that, the next point is the translocation. During the process of photosynthesis, plants, they prepare their food. That is as in the form of sugar. And this prepared food material, sugar, is on the surface of the leaf. But this glucose is required for each and every part of the plant. That is distributed or transport of the soluble products, that is sugar, to different part of the plant. That process is called translocation. And translocation is very important for growth of the plant. Now, during this absorption of water and minerals from the soil, along with water, many different types of minerals are absorbing. All these minerals are required for proper growth of the plant, or otherwise various activities it is required. Minerals required for the plants are classified it into two categories: macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients means the minerals are required in large quantity. They are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, calcium, and magnesium. And micronutrients are otherwise called trace elements. These micronutrients are required in small quantity. That is why they are called trace elements. On this board you can see they are boron, manganese, chlorine, iron, zinc, copper, nickel, and molybdenum. They are required in small quantity. And these minerals, whether it is micronutrients or macronutrients, they are required for growth and development of the plant. Means a small seedling is growing it into a complete big tree. That is the growth. For that, all these nutrients are required. For the formation of cell wall and protoplasm, each and every cell made up of cell wall, cell membrane, everywhere that is this minerals are required. Protoplasm is the cytoplasm plus nucleus, togetherly called protoplasm. Turgidity of the cell means maintenance or shape of the cell, turgidity. So there this minerals are required. And transport of food material with the help of phloem. For proper functioning of phloem, for growth of phloem vessels, phloem tracheids, so parenchyma for growth and complete growth and transportation, this type of minerals are required. So that is why these minerals are very important for the plants. Among these minerals, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, they are called primary nutrients. Nitrogen is very essential for the plant growth and it is very important part of a living cell. Now phosphorus, that is essential for growth. Potassium is necessary for photosynthesis and also it is very important for protein synthesis. Another macronutrient, sulfur. Sulfur, that which is required for protein formation. And boron is a micronutrient. It is required for the rapid growth of the plant and cell wall formation. This way each and every mineral that is required for the plants. So this is one experiment that which shows transportation of food material with the help of phloem. And in this experiment, this is called girdling experiment. In this girdling experiment, take a plant with a thick stem, remove the phloem tissues, that is the outer bark. Then along the middle of the main stem for about 4 inches, means little bit outer bark that it is to be removed. The central core, it should be there. Observe it for a few days. Means the outer epidermis is removed, only the inner part stem is there. And just after 1 week, we can see that the stem shows swelling in the upper portion. Reason is that food materials are accumulated in that region because the removal of phloem blocked the downward movement of food material. As a result, all the food materials accumulated in that region. The accumulation of food, that which goes swelling of in that region, and that is why this experiment that which shows that phloem tissues are responsible for transportation of food material. Now another point regarding this, nutrients are very important. If deficiency of this nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients, that which cause plant diseases. Some examples are given in our book. That is red leaf of cotton. Red leaf of cotton, that which it is caused due to deficiency of nitrogen. Then dwarf cotton, that is caused due to deficiency of phosphorus. Chlorosis, deficiency of zinc. Curling of leaf tip, deficiency of potassium. Lime induced chlorosis, deficiency of iron. So this is the plant disease, that is red leaf of cotton. Cotton plant, green colored leaf, gradually changing it into red color and then turning it into brown color, and then the leaves falling down and the plant completely destroyed. This type of a disease that is caused due to deficiency of nitrogen. This disease is called red leaf of cotton. This is another disease, that is dwarf cotton, caused due to deficiency of phosphorus. The symptom is that stunted growth or poor growth of the plant. Due to that poor growth, the plant which is not able to bloom properly, they are not able to produce its crop properly. So that is called dwarf cotton, caused due to deficiency of phosphorus. the third type of deficiency disease, that is called chlorosis. In chlorosis, deficiency of chlorophyll, green colored leaf changing it into yellow color, that is due to the deficiency of zinc. Now the next disease, it is curling of leaf tip, that is caused due to deficiency of potassium. So this is another disease, curling of leaf tip, the leaf totally curled due to deficiency of potassium. And the next one is that Lyme induced chlorosis due to the deficiency of iron. In this case, that green colored leaf changing it into yellow color and then brown spot appearing on the surface of the leaf, and gradually the result is that poor quality fruits and flowers produced as a result of such type of diseases. So these are the various different types of diseases caused due to these are the various different types of diseases caused due to deficiency of nutrients. They are red leaf of cotton, dwarf cotton, chlorosis, curling of leaf tip, Lyme induced chlorosis. So today we started with the transpiration, then I mentioned about transpiration pull, ascent of sap, root pressure, wilting. Wilting means it is a process that which is taking place whenever excess of transpiration and during that time less amount of water is absorbing from the soil. Wilting means due to excess rate of transpiration, less amount of water absorption, less amount of water, that which causes drooping of leaves. Roots are absorbing less amount of water, but at the same time amount of transpiration rate is much more, that which result in drooping of leaves, and the process is called wilting. The next point, it was explained factors affecting transpiration: sunlight, temperature, wind, humidity. Importance of transpiration: cooling effect, removal of excess of water, upward movement of water and minerals. Then translocation. Definition of translocation: distribution of or transport of food material prepared during photosynthesis to different parts of the plant. The different types of minerals required for the growth of plants, they are macronutrients and micronutrients. Importance of these nutrients for the plant: growth and development, formation of plant body, cell shape, and phloem transport. And the last point, it was explained deficiency diseases in plants. In deficiency diseases, red leaf of cotton, dwarf cotton, chlorosis, curling of leaf tips, Lyme induced chlorosis. This much that we completed. So this is the end of this chapter, that is transport of food and minerals in plants. Today we stop here, and next class we meet again. Thank you. Take care.